Well, hi there. This is Godzilla. You might recognize him from one of his 36 feature-length, totally authentic documentaries. Godzilla is from a group of organisms known as titans. Titan phylogeny can be a bit peculiar, with some appearing reptilian, some mammalian, pachyderm looking, or ape-like. Some even look like giant insects, similar to moths, like this amazing creature, Mothra. But what all titans have in common is that they are big. In fact, titans make up the biggest animals on the planet, and Godzilla is no exception. So, it might not surprise you to learn that I was not able to fit the real Godzilla into the reptile room today. So I've improvised with a stand-in of a totally random cat in a Stegosaurus costume. I hope you will work with me on this. Godzilla is unquestionably awesome, but is Godzilla a good pet? And is Godzilla the best pet titan for you? To figure this out, we will be breaking Godzilla down into our 5 categories, which are handleability, care, hardiness, availability, and upfront costs. Starting with handleability, we give Godzilla a score of 0 out of 5. You don't handle Godzilla. Godzilla handles you, if he doesn't step on you first. Godzilla is highly territorial, but doesn't seem to mind humans all that much. So, he's not likely to attack you without cause. But if he detects another titan, he will travel thousands of miles, usually to confront it, and there's literally nothing you can do about it. And if you're in the way, well, you're in for a bad day. Godzilla is immensely strong. A tail whip from your pet Godzilla could easily level your house. He has enormous teeth and claws. A bite or scratch from Godzilla would be memorable for however many seconds afterwards you continue to breathe. On top of that, Godzilla also possesses atomic breath, in which he regurgitates a stream of radioactive energy that can destroy almost anything in its path. In the event that Godzilla absorbs sufficient nuclear material, he can actually exude so much radiation that metal and stone structures surrounding him will just melt. You, as a fleshy bag of mostly water, would stand no chance of surviving that. On the positive side, he won't drop his tail. And if you do attempt to handle Godzilla, there is very little risk of you actually harming him. Godzilla would even be perfectly safe being handled by a small child, though I wouldn't recommend it if it is a child you are particularly attached to. Moving on to care, we give Godzilla a score of 1 out of 5. The only reason that this is not a 0 is that it is exceedingly easy to keep Godzilla alive. What you need to do in terms of daily maintenance for your pet Godzilla himself is effectively nothing. Everything else, though, is insane. Godzilla requires an ocean. Enrichment is important, so he'd need an occasional city to stomp around on or a monster to fight. Access to huge amounts of radiation, and none of that is easy to provide. Godzilla is also known to go into extended brumations that could last thousands or even millions of years. So, you might want to make sure that your children, your children's children, and their children all like big lizards. For hardiness, we give Godzilla a score of 5 out of 5. At almost 400 feet tall and nearly 100,000 tons, Godzilla far exceeds the maximum size an animal can attain and still be able to support its own weight and bodily functions, based on all known laws of physics and biology. But somehow, Godzilla is easily able to run, jump, swim, and climb. And that's stinkin' rad. As mentioned before, Godzilla is exceedingly difficult to harm. Not only equipped with immeasurable strength, Godzilla also possesses incredible regenerative abilities, able to regrow lost limbs. He is covered head to toe in meter-thick, near-impenetrable scales. If that wasn't enough, Godzilla is also protected by a staggering amount of plot armor. Aside from another monster of equal or much bigger size, there is not much that is even going to scratch Godzilla. Moving on to availability, we give Godzilla a score of 1 out of 5. Godzilla is not something that you will find at your local pet store, or even Reptile Expo, not even Tinley. There are no breeders. Godzilla is only available wild caught, which means you run into wild caught problems. I shudder to think the parasites a creature like Godzilla would bring into your collection. As far as we know, there is only one Godzilla out there, with a secret lair somewhere under the ocean. He's able to navigate the Earth's oceans and Hollow Earth with ease, crossing the entire planet seemingly in minutes. So he is very difficult to track down. Actually capturing Godzilla is nearly impossible. Proof of this and the carnage that comes with it can be found in many of those 36 documentaries I mentioned earlier. The only reason Godzilla did not get a 0 for availability is that if and when the world is in great peril and needs his services, he will always appear and save the planet with staggering amounts of collateral damage. Last up is upfront costs, and we give Godzilla a score of 0 out of 5. Godzilla himself is free. Everything else is prohibitively expensive. As stated before, Godzilla requires an ocean's worth of water. Unless you want him sleeping for eons, you need a reliable source of radiation, which is bound to put you on some kind of watch list. Enrichment is important, so that means he's going to need access to a city to destroy, which is going to cost you a fortune in insurance and lawsuits. There's tracking technology, underwater bases for monitoring purposes, international treaties to arrange, military equipment and personnel, access to a highly specialized exotic vet. You'd also be financially responsible for any rerouting and delays of international shipping as he's swimming through his ocean. I will have links to all these items in the description below, but just know the capital you would need to properly keep and care for Godzilla would exceed the GDP of most countries. Godzilla will be an extraordinarily expensive pet. Overall, we give Godzilla a score of 1.4 out of 5, which, surprisingly, is actually more than twice as high as the score we gave the human child. If you want a terrifying monster that destroys everything in its path, is almost impossible to take care of, and drains all your money and generally ruins your life, get a human child. If you want something a little bit easier, Godzilla might be the best pet for you. As always, like and subscribe, and I hope to see you real soon.
I can't even look at you.
I kind of forgot that I was wearing makeup for a second. I was like, why? And then I remember, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, ready?
April Fools! I hope you guys enjoyed my little homage to Clint, and I also hope it helped you determine whether or not Godzilla is the right pet to bring into your home. A huge thank you to Clint and his team at Clint's Reptiles for being so cool and supportive of this idea when I reached out back in February. Clint, you are one of the big inspirations for my own channel. Thank you for all you do. You're stinking rad. That's all for today. As always, nurture all nature, and I hope to see you real soon. Seriousness. I have a PhD right now.